Hello and welcome to the first episode of Basic Car Essentials. I am your host Lyndon.
And I'm Riley. This show will help you get all the knowledge you need to reduce trips to the mechanics and also save you a ton of money.
In today's episode, we discuss the factors that tires take into play when it comes to properly maintaining your vehicle.
Now, I'm sure many of you know that some vehicle owners have little to no knowledge at all when it comes to properly maintaining their vehicle. But don't worry, because you'll learn everything you need to know about yours here. So let's jump into it. Here's why tires are important to maintain and how you can properly and safely replace a bad one.
Calibration Kyle. I am Kyle, and today we are going to change a tire. And by we, I mean me. Now, let's see where I need to get started. Gloves. Alright. I know some people don't like being safe, but I like being safe. So I'm gonna put on safety glasses. Safe! Okay, so I know this is for pushing up the car. Guess this goes in there. Oh, yeah. Come here. Okay, I can't see a thing with these. I'm gonna slide this under. I do believe that is a load-bearing metal something or other. Alright. Bang. Alright. Should I have that like... Yeah, should I have that facing me? Yeah. I'm excited. I'm gonna move this out of the way. Let's do the next thing. Oh, that clicked. Is that right? It doesn't look right. It sounded right though. Did you ever? I feel her going. Ah. With the thingy-mabobber that does the spinny spin. Time to do the thingy things. Bam! This is probably gonna be the worst part. Is that good? Is it on? How do I know when it's on? Ah! Oh! Oh! Excellent! Alright, let's start with that. Alright, now for the scary part. Alright, thanks for joining us everyone. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Well, that was interesting to say the least.
Yeah, no kidding.
There's a lot of common issues that can occur when changing a tire. These involve unsafe jack placements, improper tool use, and even using the right tool for the job, but the wrong size.
Like in the video we just played, safety should be your main concern when working on any vehicle. What Kyle did could lead to major damages to the vehicle and injuries to your very own body.
Now remember to make sure that the vehicle is parked with the parking brake applied. Otherwise it might roll away when you jack it up. The reason I say this is because it actually happened to me and a friend while we were working on his car, and it was a pretty big mess.
Yeah, no way. What happened?
Well, like I said, we forgot to pull the handbrake before we jacked the car up, so it proceeded to roll down the driveway, jump off the jack, and then roll into the street. Luckily, nobody got hurt though.
Yeah, that's crazy. Luckily, it didn't end worse for either you or the vehicle. Let's move forward now. Let's take a look at the proper tools you will need to safely change your tires.
Hello and welcome to Tool Time with Greg. Today we're going to be talking about all the tools you're going to need to change a tire on your car. So to start with, we're going to need something to get the car off the ground, and that will be our jack.
The jack only serves one function, and that's to get our car off the ground so we can work on it.
If you're not feeling super safe, we got our buddy here, the jack stand.
The jack stands will act as a failsafe should the jack itself ever give out.
The breaker bar, next tool in line.
Characterized by its length, the breaker bar allows us to get the leverage we need to break the nuts off the studs.
But don't go too hard. You don't want to over-tighten them, and you don't want to under-tighten them. And that's where our final tool comes in, the torque wrench.
A very important tool because it allows us to tighten the nuts to whatever specifications we may require.
So yeah, thanks for watching Tool Time with Greg, and we'll catch you next week with our special on fluids.
Having the right tool for the job makes a huge difference in both safety and efficiency. Greg outlines the importance of using a jack stand because if the jack were to ever fail, the car could land on you and potentially kill you. This could also cause damage to your brakes, rotor, and suspension if your tire is off when the jack fails.
And he also highlights the importance of using a torque wrench to tighten your nuts or bolts to the manufacturer's specifications, because if you tighten them too much, you could strip the threads. If you don't tighten them enough, they could come loose and the tire could fall off completely. You can find your manufacturer's specifications in your owner's manual. This will include everything from proper tire pressures, tire size, rim size, nut and bolt sizes, and torque pressures.
Wait a minute, Riley, so if I don't know what to torque my bolts to, I can just look it up in my owner's manual?
That's right, Lyndon. Your owner's manual will tell you how many foot-pounds of torque is required to properly tighten your rims. Usually it's around 90 foot-pounds for aluminum wheels and 110 foot-pounds for steel.
That's awesome. All right, well, let's see how to properly change your tire.
Hello everyone and welcome to this week's DIY segment of Basic Car Essentials. Today, we're going to be showing you the procedure you'll need to change your own tires. Tires are one of the most important parts of your car. They connect the wheels to the road, providing traction and also absorbing vibration. First, make sure your car is in park. If it's a manual, first gear will also act as park. Loosen the bolts before jacking the car up. Jack up the vehicle at the jacking points on the bottom of the car. Let the car down onto a safety stand. Unscrew all the wheel bolts and the wheel should come off freely. Attach the new wheel to the car and tighten the top bolt with your finger to hold the wheel on. Attach the remaining bolts, tightening them across from each other. Jack the car up about an inch, remove the safety stand, and lower the car back down to the ground. Once the car is back on the ground, torque the bolts to your manufacturer's specifications. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Join us next week as we show you how to properly change your own oil. Alright, so now that we've seen how to properly get the job done, we can go in depth on the steps involved.
Exactly. The first step is obviously to make sure the car is in park with the handbrake pulled. We don't want a repeat of Riley's experience.
Right. Getting the car up onto the jack can sometimes be the scariest part, seeing as how the jack usually makes some pretty interesting sounds once it's holding up 2,000 pounds of steel.
Which brings the importance of the jack stand into play, because if the jack fails, the stand will just catch it.
Also, make sure you're using the right size tools for the job.
Once the jack stands are properly placed under your vehicle, you can remove the jack from underneath and you're ready to take off those wheels and tires. Removing the wheel bolts is the next step. When doing so, always make sure to loosen the bolts across from each other, also known as the star pattern.
After those have been removed, the wheels sometimes might not come off freely. This is usually just a matter of force to be applied.
Exactly, a little force and it should come off. Once the wheel is removed, you can grab your other wheels and finally replace them. Repeat the tightening of the bolts as I just mentioned before using the star pattern, followed by lifting the vehicle again, removing the stands, and lowering the vehicle back down to the ground.
Now, once it's on the ground, make sure you torque your wheels to the specified settings outlined in your owner's manual. Just about everything related to the maintenance of the vehicle can be located in that manual, and it comes with every car. So now that we've taken an in-depth look at changing your tires, let's ask an expert some questions about the differences between tires and some mistakes people make when purchasing new ones.
I've been certified since 1984, so that would make it 32 years. The most common mistake people make when choosing tires seems to be price rules. If you buy a less expensive tire, you generally don't get as good a quality as you would buying a more expensive tire. Generally with tires, if you pay more, you got more. I have seen people put the lug nuts on backwards, and that's very dangerous. Or incorrect inflation, that type of stuff, that's all dangerous stuff. It could cause a blowout or a wheel to fall off. It's always important to know your vehicle, where the controls are, where the instruments are and all that. In emergency, you have to know exactly what control to reach for in the event of an emergency. For instance, if you're driving along the road and a truck comes along and splashes through a puddle and you can't see anything because now your windshield is blocked, you have to know exactly where the wipers are to turn them on and instantly clear your window. All seasons are a compromise for all seasons. They don't have the hard rubber compound required in the summer, and they don't have the soft compound required in the winter. They are an okay tire through the 4 seasons. They're not as good as a winter tire in low ambient temperatures, and they're not as good as a summer tire in higher ambient temperatures. But they will work okay through the 4 seasons.
Okay guys, so what we have here is a 15-inch rim on 195/65 radials. So what that means is that the tire itself is 175 millimeters wide with a 70 millimeter sidewall and a 15-inch rim diameter. We were able to obtain this information through the owner's manual. If your rims did not come stock with the car, the sizes will vary according to the sizes of rims that you bought.
Also, most cars' tire pressure is about 30 psi. If you don't know for sure what your tire's pressure is, it can be located right here on the sidewall, just along the tire, right there. You can fill up your tire's air 2 ways. The first is with an air compressor. You can buy them at the store, however, they are quite expensive. So we recommend stopping at a gas station and using the air station outside. If you quickly need to fill your tires, you can also use a bike pump, just like this one, with the proper attachment, which can be located just right there.
So to check the tread of your tire, you could use a common tool known as a tread tester. You will need to replace your tires once the tread reads below 4/32 of an inch. Another way to check your tread is by the wear bar located in between the grooves of the tire, just right here. Another rather Canadian method of gauging your tread depth is with a toonie.
Toonie?
A toonie.
How the?
If the tread shows below the polar bear's paws, it's time to change tires.
Let's take a look at this. What is this? Yeah, that's too low.
These tires
need
are
to
too
be
low.
changed.
Time to change. Well, that pretty much covers nearly everything about our show for tires today.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for tuning in this week's episode. We hope you guys learned something new and helpful throughout this episode. And be sure to catch us next week where we discuss how to properly maintain your vehicle's car fluids.
That's
I'm
right.
Lyndon.
I'm Riley. Catch us next time
On Basic Car Essentials. Take care now, guys.